If I could have eaten multiple boxes of Costco taquitos in a week. I just can't bring myself to go into Costco that much. All my farts are egg farts.
Oh.
I feel like with age, my farts have been starting to smell like horrendously worse than I would say like teenage me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually agree with that.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of A Literary Tasting. My name is Jessica.
My name is Annie.
Every week on A Literary Tasting, we have a drink, we read a book, and we complain. It's getting to the point where I think maybe we should just change the name of the podcast because we don't drink the way we used to. We don't drink on this podcast anymore. There's no drink for this book. If I were to pick a drink, here's the thing: is that like I would pick like a whiskey, like an old fashioned.
Well,
I feel like is what I would pick for this. But thing is that I'm not drinking an old fashioned, so I'm not going to go to the store, get the ingredients for an old fashioned, have it sit in front of me and mock me. And then, like, because that's like spending $10 on, like, nothing.
I fear that, like...
To drink the drink and go, ugh!
I fear maybe we just also need to, like... We could also just make a mocktail. Or we need to, like, diversify what we mean by drink. It doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage, you know? We could do, like, a different kind of beverage. That's a conversation for a different time, I suppose.
Yeah, well, Poppy, if you want to sponsor us... I used to hear that poppies make you shit out of your butt. I would disagree with that, so I don't drink poppies anymore, because I used to drink them because I was like, I need help shitting out my butt.
Don't say that, because we want them to sponsor us.
Hey, they still taste good, they just don't help you shit out of your butt. But I don't think that's what Poppy is promising. I think that's just people saying, I use Poppy as a laxative.
Yeah, they're not promising that. Anyway, she drinks them all the time. Don't believe what she said.
I have an entire case in my fridge right now.
But anyways... Today, we are reading First Time Caller by B.K Borison, right? Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of people talking about this because it like just came out recently. And you know what? We're from the DMV and this book takes place in Baltimore, so I felt like pertinent. But also sometimes I feel like it's a little bit too close to home when I hear them talking about things that are like in my area. I'm like, this is a little bit weird. But... yeah, so I just thought we should read it because I'm like, you know, something people are talking about. Let's see what the goss is about. Yeah.
You also might know B.K. Borison from the Love Light Farm series. I read the first one and I actually really enjoyed it. Although I will say, this book and Love Light Farms made me realize I am just not a friends to lovers queen. I am an enemies to lovers queen. Friends to lovers just involves way too much miscommunication. Yeah. I'd rather them be slapping each other around. Better than miscommunicating. Better than miscommunicating, in my opinion.
Is a miscommunication trope, and we'll get there with this. But, yeah, I actually haven't read those. This is my first.
Maybe if you want us to read them for Christmas, because I actually enjoyed that one because it was Christmassy. It was fun. It was cute.
Your eyelashes look so good.
I've started buying. I've actually, instead of cutting them, I've just started buying a half lash instead of wasting the half lash. Instead of wasting half a lash, I just started buying them.
Look at God. So yeah, we're gonna jump into it.
Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome. Trigger warnings. Honestly, I couldn't think of one. Did you think of one?
I would say probably some like sexual harassment and misogyny, but
okay, yeah,
it's not like super crazy.
Yeah,
and I don't even know that we're gonna get to it
that much. Episode, no, yeah. I felt that it was pretty tame on like the triggering content, honestly, which, you know what, is always a nice read.
I know. Yeah, like we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
I'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So, anyways, just a quick overview. Our book is centered around a radio show called Heartstrings, where our two main people are hosting and looking for love for our main girl. Our main girl is Lucy. Our main guy is Aiden. Fuck that name. Sorry.
Yeah, we seriously need to invent a thesaurus for names. And all romance authors need to be required to have it in their home and have it in their hands and look through it before they start to name their characters Anastasia or Aiden or Christian, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, Christian. I fear I would call that the big book of baby names. And girl, just get one. Like, I'm sure you can get it online. Like, God.
Well, I assume they think Aiden is like a sexy name.
Not for me.
I wouldn't say that Aiden is a sexy name. She does spell her name cute. She spells her name Lucie.
Cute.
Yeah. Cute.
Yeah.
Who'd you fan cast for them? Do you have anybody?
Okay, so I did fan cast For him, I fan casted Adam DeMarco. Okay, I started watching Overcompensating.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, I have. I have not seen the show. I just keep getting edits of him, and I'm like, what is this from? I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
But yes.
Dude.
Yes.
And let me tell you, I've been thought he was hot since Radio Rebel, and he was hot in White Lotus, and he's hot in Overcompensating.
I've never seen him before. I just keep getting edits of him on my For You page, which is totally fine with me, but I was like, where is this coming from?
As soon as No, because Overcompensating came out like a week ago or something, so like, as soon as the edits started rolling out, and I was reading this at the same time, I said, oh.
Yeah, my fan casting is coming straight from the heart and not from the source material. Mine is gonna be Dr. Sam from New Girl.
Okay, at least you didn't say Nicholas Galantine. Yay, girl!
No, Nicholas Galantine, where have you been, girl?
He's in hiding after everyone was coming for him for the fucking Harry Styles fan.
That's true. He was like, I can't do this again. Yeah. No, Dr. Sam from New Girl. Oh my god, he is so fucking fine. Oh my god.
Yeah, wow. I'm not there, but maybe I had to see him in action because I didn't really watch New Girl.
And then for Lucy, again, it's just coming from the heart. I think Demi from Secret Wives of Mormon Wives is like genuinely the prettiest person I've ever seen with my own eyes.
Oh, she's stunning. Yeah.
I've just been thinking about her a lot, so that's why I cast her.
You were just casting. You were fan casting.
Well, I was like
truest definition.
I'm sorry, but I found this book really boring. I'm not gonna be too mean, but I found this book really boring, and I was like, I really need something to get me motivated to read this. So,
okay, for Lucy, I casted Danielle Campbell. You know her from the originals. You also know her from the Disney Channel original classic, Starstruck.
Wait, pause. I am so sorry to interrupt you, but this is very important. Did you see there was a Fifth Harmony reunion last night?
I did.
And then I thought to myself, do you think last week me and our friends, us and our friends, were driving in the Uber and we forced the Uber driver to play like 7 Fifth Harmony songs? Do you think they saw the 7 streams? And they were like,
hold on, maybe a comeback's in order.
Yes!
We did listen to a lot of Fifth Harmony for Jess's birthday. My Spotify is all fucking confused. I'm so fucking confused. But yes, I did see that.
They were like, maybe we should capitalize on this. Like, people really seem to be loving us lately. It's just me.
Yeah. They pinged the location and it's just this apartment.
I love Fifth Harmony. Still.
Oh, we know, girl.
They don't know. They weren't there.
They weren't there. She loves Fifth Harmony.
I was there. That was the era of Vine edits, not TikTok edits.
Yeah.
Where were y'all?
I mean, Fifth Harmony is how our friendship began, so.
And One Direction.
Yeah.
And a One Direction comeback is on the horizon. I just feel it in my bones. But Harry might not be there.
They can't do a comeback.
Well, I mean, they can.
God, I can't even talk about it, please. Anyway.
Good pick.
Danielle Campbell. She also dated Louis for a while.
That's what made me think of it.
Yeah. She is super cute. She's stunning. She's just stunning. So she's who I thought of. Also confused me because they described her as having brown hair, like longish brown hair, which is why I thought of her. But then on the cover of the book, the girl has red hair. I don't know. The cover of the book is also really cute.
Yeah, it is. Wait.
I was like, what? When they were talking about her hair being brown, I was like, but the cover is telling me otherwise. I was expecting a redhead. I guess it looks kind of brown. Maybe auburn. But like from far away, it looks red.
That's Dr. Sam, by the way.
No, that's Adam DeMarco. I actually originally was thinking about Andrew Garfield.
Oh, he's fucking fine too.
He's so fucking hot.
Guys.
But then the edits obviously overtook me.
Yeah, I'm glad you said something about that because I was getting them on my For You page and I was like, who is this?
Oh, I implore you to watch Overcompensating.
I was now that I know what it is. Now that I know what it was.
I watched the first 2 episodes like 2 days ago and I was giggling off my ass and I was sitting here by myself, giggling out loud.
He's so fucking hot.
Yeah. God. And, okay, you know what? Let's just get into it. So, also, as most romance books are, dual perspective novel. I don't know, sometimes I just want to hear her perspective. Sometimes I don't care about his thoughts. Sometimes I don't care about his thoughts.
I feel like all the romance novel male characters are the same male character over and over, and I really felt like that with this one. It's just like some brooding man that hates his life, and then a woman comes in and changes his life. I will say, at least that's a nice switch up from a man changing a woman's life, I guess.
Period.
But like in this one, it's like you say, the first sentence of the outline is Aiden is cranky as hell because he hates his life. Like, why is every romance character so fucking grumpy and like why
cranky as fuck?
Like,
it's always gonna be a grumpy sunshine. It's always gonna be whatever. I mean, the thing is, like you said,
there can't be a grumpy sunshine because I'm not the sunshine.
That's what I'm saying. I need the opposite.
Yeah, nary a sunshine on my end.
Yeah.
That's why I loved Nate from Icebreaker. I didn't love the book, but I did love the character.
Yeah.
Because he was the sunshine.
Yeah, that's what made him so fun. And I will say, like, at least...
Hannah Grace, we love you. I miss you so much.
God, I know we say it every episode, but we miss you so much. I know you're cooking something fire right now. But that is good to point out. I will say, at least in this book, like, Lucy had her shit together. Apart from, like, obviously being on the quest for love.
Yeah, but
she had her shit together. He was the one who was having problems.
If there's anything to not have together, it's your love life. I would much rather have my career in order, but not have a man.
Yeah. Oh, she's living beautifully. She has a lot of love in her life. Just obviously her romantic love life. Yeah. But anyway,
because she has a kid.
Yeah.
A 12-year-old.
Ooh. Oh my god. So anyway, the book opens with Aiden. And he's, again, cranky as fuck. His friend from the radio station they work at, I think his name is Jackson, pulls up to his house and he's like, get out of bed. Me too. I was thinking about Jackson from Hannah Montana. Sorry, Jason Earls.
I was gonna say, actually, I love him.
I love him too. I just meant sorry the way we cackled. Like, I loved him. Anyway, he's like, get out of bed. I'm gonna take you for a cruffin at this fucking place down the street. They go there, they're having a conversation. Jackson's like, you need to stop your fucking attitude because you are on the air every night being rude to fucking people who are calling in. You're so like dry, like not funny. The ratings are tanking, bro. Get yourself together. And he's like, okay, like goddamn.
To be fair, what was exactly the concept of, I guess it was kind of like Loveline. Yeah. Is what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's like, how is he still on the air if literally nobody's calling in? Because he describes...
People are calling in.
Well, no, but he describes one time he was like, of the 3 calls I got last night was some lady trying to order Chinese food.
Well, that's also the thing. Like, people were just, like, getting sick of his attitude. That's why the ratings are tanking, because he's being an ass.
Then cancel him.
Well, that's what he said. He said, baby, we're about to cancel your ass. Get it together. I'm your friend, so I'm giving you a courtesy, but, like... pick it up, okay, or you're gonna be jobless.
Okay.
And he's like, okay, whatever. God, if I must.
Yeah, he's rude about it. Yeah,
he's so rude about it. But then I'll put a fire under your ass and be like, oh, I gotta step my shit up. Like,
yeah. Instead, he's just more mad.
Yeah. So then we switch over to Lucy, and we find out she's in her house. She's tucked into bed, ready to go to sleep. And she hears her 12-year-old daughter down the hallway on the phone, and she's like, it's midnight, what the fuck is she doing? So she goes over there, she opens the door, and she's on the phone, and she's like, what the fuck? She takes the phone from her, and she's like,
it's a man on the other line.
What the fuck is this? It's a man. The way...
my heart would hit the floor.
My heart would literally plummet into the center of the earth. What do you mean you're talking to a man on the phone? A man. This is a man, not a boy. A man. Clearly like 30 and above.
And she's flaming him.
She's flaming him. She's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Wait. And she just continues to flame him.
No, she's like,
live
you
on the
fucking
radio.
Freak. What the hell is wrong with you? This is crazy. Why are you talking to my kid at this hour? Why are you talking to my kid at all? She's going in. And he's like, pause. Wait. Your daughter Maya called me. This is heartstrings. Ha ha ha. You're live on the air. Your daughter called because she was like, my mom could use some dating advice. How would you feel about that?
Well, I don't want kids ever. My kid was like, I have to call in, and my mom is such a loveless loser. I have to call into radio. No, like,
I would lose that. I would be so humiliated. I would have hung up the phone immediately.
Yeah.
But instead, she stays on the line somehow, some way. He starts like, he gets her to start talking. And then she's just like, basically spills her guts. And she's like, love has always been really hard for me. I have a hard time like connecting with people. I feel like it's really hard to like go on dates and like be natural. It's always so forced. And I'm tired of trying. I just want something easy and something like to just kind of fall in my lap. I hate to say that, but I want something to fall in my lap. And you know what? I understand.
Yeah, no, like I deleted all the dating apps because it's like they actually bring me nothing but, I don't want to say heartbreak, but they're certainly not adding anything good to my life.
Oh yeah.
So I deleted all the dating apps, and it's like, well, where are you going to meet somebody if you're not going to meet, as we've said a million times on this podcast, where are you supposed to meet someone if you're not supposed to date your coworkers, your boyfriend's not at a bar, your boyfriend's not at a club?
Yeah.
Well then fine. Can't he just like,
Yeah. I will say, when she was saying all this stuff, I was like, okay, I'm resonating. because finding someone is really hard. Dating is really hard, and finding like just
I can imagine what it's like also to date as like a mother, unfortunately.
Right. And she's like 30, and she had her daughter when she was 16 or 17. But like, still, that shit is fucking difficult, especially I'm sure when you have a kid, and so you have like so many more responsibilities than someone else.
And you have to consider,
you know,
you have to consider their safety as well. You can't just be fast and loose with yourself.
Yeah.
But the thing that irritates me is not this conversation. It's not even Maya calling in for her. It's that it goes viral. I can't do it anymore. Dude, the way that I'm not saying nobody would gaff, but nobody would gaff.
Nobody would gaff.
Nobody would gaff this much.
About a radio show
It got 1 million views on TikTok, and it just resonated with so many people.
Everyone in the comments was like, oh my god.
So many people want to help her find love. The way nobody would gaff.
Literally nobody would care. Will I say it resonated? For sure. I just said that. But nobody's going to hear that. First of all, the one of the 5 callers or listeners who were listening took that clip, put it online, and it blew up overnight. Please spare me.
Yeah.
No one's gaffing, and no one's sitting there like, we want to hear from
pause. It's also a podcast now. That's what's, I don't know who put it up, but it's also a podcast now. That's how it got put up.
Regardless still. Because who even knows about this podcast?
We need to learn to do that.
So, anyway, she says all the things she's saying.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Just one more thing. I'm just so tired of books using that as a plot device.
Yeah.
It's not a plot device because it's like, it is such a, if anything, it's a plot hole because it's like, if you know anything about being on the internet, you know how hard it is to go viral.
Yeah.
And like, things that are pleasant don't go viral.
Yeah.
It's things that suck that go viral. Or like a video of a dog farting.
No, like either it has to be something fucking hilarious or it's just like something awful.
Yeah.
It's really hard for something like this to go viral. Mm-hmm. It's the same like in the book we read 2 books ago where like the guy was reviving that dog and it was like the video went viral.
He went viral not once but twice.
What the fuck? But she says in her little thing while she was calling that she wants magic. She's looking for magic in her life and everyone's like, oh my god, we want that too. We want to help you find it. The next morning we meet Grayson, her baby daddy, who is also gay. He lives with Mateo next door, which actually is a great situation for them considering they share a child.
Well, also, I appreciated that they were divorced and had a good relationship because then anytime there was like, I didn't finish the book, but I'm sure there was a sex scene at her house, I didn't need to think to myself, but the kiddo's down the hall.
Well...
Oh,
no,
come on.
No, there wasn't. No, there wasn't. But I will say also, Grayson and her, like, were never really together. They were, like, childhood friends. They had sex, like, once. She says in this, she got pregnant the first time she had sex. Yeah. And, then, like, right after, she was like, we knew we weren't supposed to be together. So we, like, both were like, okay, we're gonna co-parent because we're best friends, but, like, we're never gonna be together. And also, like, it was never a thing where they were like, oh, we're dating. Which I think was, like, nice to see them be like, oh, like, you know, we can co-parent and be together and have, like, a because they have, like, this really beautiful family that's, like, you know, him and his husband, her daughter, family. A very, blended family. And she clearly has a lot of love in her life. He walks right in and he's like, girl, you're going viral online.
Well, it pissed me off so bad because he comes in there and he's like, you lonely old hag.
Yeah.
You didn't let me help you find love. Some radio host is gonna help you find love. Grayson, if you don't get the damn hell out of my house.
No.
What the damn hell?
Oh,
get out of here.
I would have thrown something at him.
You came all the way over here to call me a lonely hag.
He walked
and make it about you.
He walks in there.
Me being a lonely hag has nothing to do with you.
He's like, Maya, how dare you call without me? We were supposed to call together.
We were supposed to call and tell on this lonely hag on to the entire planet together.
First of all, no way y'all were in cahoots about this. And
stop calling me a hag.
No way my daughter called before you guys even meant to because she was like, enough is enough. She called in the middle of the night. She was like, enough. I have to call now.
Well, also, like, who actually gaffed that much about their parents? Like, I don't know. I'm a child of divorce. I never in my life thought my dad needs a girlfriend. Never. Like, I've never thought about that.
I can't speak on that.
Speaking as a child of divorce, I've never thought that. Well, I did, like, later in adulthood, but, like, 13-year-olds don't want their parents. I don't know, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I was kind of like, this seems odd because 13-year-olds typically don't want their parents to marry somebody that's not there because then things get weird.
I mean, I think the daughter in this seemed very mature. I think also maybe it's because of the fact that, like, her parents are clearly were never together, and like her dad's gay. Like it was never a thing that like, oh, I want my parents to be together, you know?
Maybe I'm just being nitpicky because I hate when there's kids in romance novels.
No, but yeah, that's a good point to make. And I can't really speak on that because I just can't. So, but anyway, she ends up going to work. She's also a mechanic. She works at an auto repair.
She's at the fucking mechanic shop, and even her coworkers are bringing up, even if you get 1 million views on the internet, your coworkers haven't seen it because the internet is huge now.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Shut up! I can't do it with the going viral anymore. I can't do it.
You're not going to work.
Maybe when we have 1 billion subs, I'll be like more keen to be like, yeah.
No, but I'm still not gonna show up to my work and have everyone at the front desk be like, "Oh my god, I saw your clip last night."
It went viral.
No, that's not happening.
I think I just hate the word viral. It's like, it pisses me off because it's so generic on purpose.
And it's
I'm getting hung up on the wrong things.
Okay, well, regardless, they get to work and her mechanic coworkers are like, "Oh, you're going viral, haha." She's getting calls all morning long from an unknown number, and she keeps hanging it up because, like, I'm not answering that, obviously. She finally answers the phone, and it's like, they're like, "Hey, this is Maggie calling from, you know, whatever radio station. We want to talk to you." And she's like, "What the fuck?" First of all, how they find her number? I guess they can trace it from her calling, but whatever.
Didn't even think about that. Good point.
Yeah. But we bounce back to Aiden, and he's getting told in a meeting with his, you know, the entire, like, station, like, "Hey, we're thinking about having Lucy come on the show with you to be, like, a kind of a co-host a couple days a week, and we're gonna start a new segment called, like, you know, Lucy's Looking for Love or something like that." And he's like, ugh. He's like, what the fuck? Granted, he's like also being like, I mean, I can't stop thinking about her. Her laugh was so cute and she was so honest.
What irritates me about so much about these friends to lovers books is that it's like, it's insta love. But also, we don't get to see them get together because it's building tension. But it's like, it's not really building tension if they've been in love the whole time.
Yeah.
You know?
It's from literally like right after they go to this chapter, this is what, chapter 4 or something, and he's like, I couldn't stop thinking about her laugh and how honest she was. And
weirdly enough, it feels like, it doesn't feel romantic to me. I don't know why. Don't ask me to explain it.
I mean, fair enough.
Of viewers.
Fair enough. And they're like, yeah, we want to do this. We need to see if she's going to be down. But we need better ratings because, you know, obviously you've been tanking. And this viral video and her being, like, her calling in was, like, the first time we've gotten any traction. So we're going to keep working on that. And he's like, okay, I mean, I guess I don't really have a fucking choice. So,
and they're like, yeah, you don't.
No, you don't. And she's like, you need to fix your fucking attitude quickly. And so we also get a little bit of backstory about Aiden's family here. We find out that his mom has been diagnosed with cancer, like, several times. And currently his parents are on a road trip to, like, celebrate her coming out of chemotherapy and being cancer-free. And he clearly has a lot of feelings about this. Who wouldn't? But we don't really get there yet. Now, this one day he's walking into the studio and he runs into a woman in the lobby and he is immediately flirting with her, and she's flirting back.
Yeah, he's like, ever want to get dental work done?
That whole thing, I had to run it back because I was listening to this part and I had to run it back and be like, what the fuck did you just say? What are you talking about?
Where did we get here?
No, like, what? Why are we suddenly making jokes about me sucking you off? I don't get it.
Also, don't even joke about that.
Right, like...
Joke about sucking me off.
No, and she's also... This is obviously Lucy, and she's here to decide if she wants to join the show. I would have turned on my heel. That's what's so annoying. But the thing is, of course she doesn't because she's in insta love with him too. Right. That's what's so annoying. Yeah, in her POV, she's like, I thought radio hosts were not supposed to be so hot. Girl.
Actually, to be fair, if I see a hot man, my brain does shut off a little bit, so fair.
Oh, I mean, yeah. And he's also, if I see a hot woman, the same, because he's like, her eyes are the color of a vine that my father loves so much. I was like, you're done. And you're supposed to tell me that you don't know that you immediately love her? Yeah. Bye. Like, bye. But she goes in and she's talking to Maggie, and Maggie's like, listen, girl, like, we can do this however you want. We can get started down. Take your time to think about it. Whatever. She's sitting in the office by herself at one point and he starts throwing balls at the window and he's being like, come here or whatever. I'm like, you're flirting so heavy. It's actually shocking. Like, you're flirting so heavy. And he gets her in the booth and to put on headphones, and she listens, and people are talking. The caller who's on the line is being like, Lucy made me feel so listened to and seen, and she's amazing. I really love her. Da, 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 da. And she's like, wait, did you pay that person to say that? And he's like, no, you just had an impact. Which is so funny. I'm sorry, people are not gonna call in. This whole thing is just like so funny to think about. Like, it's so ridiculous. I mean,
yeah, that's I feel like what kind of bothered me about the whole viral situation is that, like, I could have honestly been more down if it was like, she called in and they had like a really good like conversation and it felt like it was flowing, and then she realized she really liked being on the radio, and he realized he realized he really liked having a co-host. Yeah. And then now they have ratings are together. Yeah. Ratings are up. Yeah.
It's starting to go up slowly. Yeah. And then viral overnight.
Well, and she's also getting calls in from men who are like, I have to have you right now. And I'm like, wait a minute, didn't we have 5 viewers before?
Right. Like, what's happening? Suddenly everyone's listening to the show. Everybody. So yeah, she goes home that night and she's like, I don't know, I think I might do it, I'm not sure. Grayson clocks her tea immediately.
Yeah, she knew the second she answered the phone she was gonna do it.
No, he clocks her tea immediately because he's like, what's Aiden like? And she's like,
hot and sexy.
He's nice. He's like, he's nice. She's like, yeah, he's nice.
What was that thing you did that one time?
Yeah, he's just nice. She's like pulling her hair out. He's like, okay, girl. Now we then go through like a couple of their first interactions on the radio, and we get one of them like talking about what she's into in a partner and like what kind of person she wants to be with, and then another one of them.
Also, sorry, this would be the most boring radio show of all time.
I don't know, Lucy. I don't get.
Why do I care what Lucy wants in a man?
We talk about her celebrity crush. Okay.
That means nothing to me.
It'd be one thing if, like, this is, again, why it's so, like, annoying that the thing went viral, because the entire, like, plot of the book actually rests on
everything going viral.
Yeah, of everything going viral. And it's like, yes, something can go viral overnight, but people are not going to care that much. Yeah. It's like,
you're going to forget about it by the time they put their phone down, or by the time they scroll to the next video.
Right, because it's like, you know, you remember, like, when, like, anything that went viral would end up on Ellen? It's like, you would then see them on Ellen and be like, what the fuck? We don't want to see damn Daniel.
And then, oh my god, I will never forget when Alex from Target went on Ellen.
Right, and then it's like,
poor Ellen, I feel like, I mean, not poor Ellen, sounds like she was a bad person, but can you imagine trying to be funny with just, like, Alex from Target?
Like, and
you're also Ellen. You're also Ellen's age, and you're like, who the fuck is Alex from Target?
Right, because
your Gen Z staff tries to explain to you like rapidly. Oh, he's this really hot guy that works at Target.
he's a kid who has some fucking white ass sneakers on. Okay, and then now I have to do this, and then not even that. It's as if they then went on Ellen, and then they stayed on Ellen, and they kept coming back to Ellen every single day, and everyone's like, we don't want you.
What's gonna happen next? Oh my god, it's Alex from Target sneakers again? No way!
What kind of sneakers do you like in a woman? What kind of sneakers do you want your girlfriend to wear?
Ellen's coffee mug cracks in her hand. There's vodka in it.
Right, it's like, it goes viral, people care for like that minute they watch it, and then they move the fuck on. They don't want to hear her.
What was Alex from Target doing on Ellen? Now that we're talking about it.
And what about, like, there were so many rando ass people going on Ellen just because they would have a viral video. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can see, Lucy would be on Ellen, but then she would not be on the radio show every night. And I would certainly not be clocking in every episode to listen to
find out if she went on a date or not, especially because she goes on like 2 or 3 dates. So like, most of the time, she's just talking about how she's single. Girl, I can do that.
Oh, and
come to dinner with me. Yeah. You'll have the same conversation.
Yeah. Mind you, she doesn't even really talk about those dates on the air. But we'll get
that's
there.
The thing is that it's like, I know we're sitting there being like, who would care about somebody finding love? And then we're like, do you want to watch The Bachelor? It's like, it was different because we don't even get to see it.
Also, The Bachelor is different because we don't know these people.
I do love watching people in evening gowns fight.
Period. And that's different. It's like, Bachelor's an established show, and there's a whole thing, it's a plot, you know, like, it's obviously very contrived in a lot of ways. Like, this is just very unrealistic. But anyways, it's, you know, we have to suspend our belief for a little bit. And I know. And yeah, so they're talking about what she looks for in a guy, talking about who her celebrity crush is, and like if that has anything to do with her type.
She answers the question. He acts like she literally just said Larry David.
She kind of did.
He starts laughing at her. Okay, yeah, one time I said Larry David was a hear me out and everybody got mad at me.
Because what the fuck?
It's a hear me out. Some people said Toothless the Dragon. I can't say Larry David.
Poor Larry David's like, why am I a hear me out?
Because he's old.
Stop.
To be fair, he's been old for like 20 years.
Like, seriously. Oh god, okay. Toothless is fucking crazy. Like, seriously, that is so unhinged.
I didn't say it. I said Larry David.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Mine's the fox from Zootopia. Fine ass. Anyway.
Isn't that Jason Bateman? Maybe you just think Jason Bateman is hot.
Oh, I do. And he voices the fox.
Mystery solved.
Yep. It was never a mystery to me. But they're talking about all these things, and then they, it's very clear they have like good banter, and they're like flirting with each other on air all the time. And there's this one night where she's like, tell me a secret, and he's like, no. They're doing the whole, the whole bit that people always do when they're like dating someone for the first time. Like,
I'm gonna try this and see if it works.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like this wouldn't work.
They go to commercial break, and he tells her that, he's like, I will tell you a secret, but just off the air. And he tells her that he doesn't watch movies fully. He only watches like clips of movies online. And then he also tells her that his name isn't actually Aiden Valentine. His name is Aiden Valen.
Duh.
Your name is not Aiden Valentine, obviously. Do you think I'm stupid?
He watches clips of movies online?
Yeah.
That would actually give me the icky. Oh, okay.
I'd be like, what? Well, like, what? Why? Just sit down and watch a movie.
That's so weird. That's when my last boyfriend used to tell me that he would watch clips of Bluey on TikTok, but he would never watch full episodes. Girl, please pick up a book.
Yeah.
Please pick up a book. Actively work on lengthening that attention span.
Right. Like what the fuck do you mean? And so
movies are so good.
Yeah. That would definitely
movies are art.
That would give me pause if someone said that to me. Like, what the fuck?
I would genuinely think you're not smart.
Like, what? And frankly, I would have thought that his name was like Aiden Smith.
Yeah.
Aiden Johnson. Obviously your name is not Valentine. The fact that his name is even Aiden Valen is crazy.
You're reaching for that.
Like, please. So he's talking to her about it, and she's like, being really like receptive to everything he's saying, and he's like biting his lip hard. He's like, oh my god, she's so cute. And because of this, he starts being fucking mean and rude to all the people who are calling in who want to date Lucy. They'll call in and
kind of like that.
Oh, me too. I wrote that here. I'm sorry. I love, obviously when it's like in a very healthy way, I love a possessive, protective, jealous man. I do. I'm sorry.
Well, especially because like with the men that we have dated, historically speaking, if they wanted to defend us, they couldn't. So it's nice to imagine a world in which a man has to defend me in general. The fact that I'm so desirable that multiple men want me at once, and not only that, but mine is the hottest and the strongest.
Yeah. And
it is nice to imagine a reality where that exists.
And he's not afraid to like assert that. Yeah.
Yeah, because so many men are like, oh, bitches, right?
Oh, so many men would be like, yeah, I would totally deck him if someone said that to you. And then someone says that to me and they don't deck him.
I know. I'm going to start, anytime anybody tells me that they would fight a man for me, I'm like, I want to see you do it then.
Yeah, once when I was dating...
I'm going to start a fight in Spider Kelly's right fucking now.
The first year I was dating my ex from college, this was like very at the beginning of our relationship, so I was like madly in love with him at this point. I was sitting in the library and by myself, and someone slid into my booth across from me. A random person in the library, and I looked up and I was like, and he goes, hey, he starts like spitting game, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he goes,
was it you?
I don't really remember, honestly. Oh. I don't think so. But regardless, I was like, okay, I have a boyfriend. And he goes, do you like him?
Okay, wait. I was like, guys, y'all, I am about to one up your story.
Wait, but then to finish off, my man at the time came after he like left the booth, and I was like, no, I'm okay, thank you.
You were.
No, I was gagged though. I was gagged. I told
it always feels good.
No, I told my man at the time this story, and
he was good also to tell them.
Oh yeah, because then I was like, he's sitting right there, because he was sitting right there, and he was like, oh, we should leave the library. I was like. say I would want him to go over there and be like, deck him, but I was just like,
it's nice to imagine a reality where you could do that.
It's nice to imagine right. It's nice to imagine a reality where like you are like,
you care enough about me.
Yeah, and you're like kind of like you show that you're jealous, you show that you're a little possessive in a cute way, and you're like, you say let's leave the library because you're like, I don't want you around him, and not because you're afraid of that man. Go ahead and tell me your story.
Well, so I also dated that same man that Annie dated. I did it in high school, she did it in college. It's okay.
It's okay, I know.
You felt the first hurdle, you were 18.
I fell at first hurdle.
We were 18. There's, whatever.
It was a canon event, we couldn't stop it.
And there was a guy at you might have heard this story, I'm not sure, but I was working at an ice cream shop at the time, and there was this, he was hot, I'm not even gonna lie, he was fine. And he would always come in, and we would always flirt with each other, even though I was dating him, and but you know.
I mean, you're 16, fuck it.
Yeah, and he was hot.
Yeah.
And he one time finally was just like, fuck it, break up with your boyfriend. And I forget what he said. He said something, whatever, and I said, I have a boyfriend, I can't. He goes, well, your boyfriend's ugly, so you should break up with him and be with me instead.
No fucking way. No way.
For obvious reasons, I did not tell him that.
Right.
But
oh my God. I could not hear that. Right. Good thing you didn't tell him. I could not hear that.
Well, I mean,
but God damn, that's hot.
Yeah, he was. I mean, first of all, the other guy that was not my boyfriend was hot.
Oh.
And my ex-boyfriend was ugly. He was ugly. And we ended up breaking up like not that long after anyway.
I mean,
didn't date for very
to
long.
have the gall to say that to you is sexy on its own.
It was so hot that he was like so confident.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, to have the energy and the ability to do that is crazy. Especially at 16, 17.
He was 15.
Period.
He was a year younger than me. Yeah.
Good for
actually,
him.
I was probably 17 and he was probably 16.
Yeah,
probably.
Still good for him. Wow.
I couldn't say that to anybody.
Yeah, well, basically this man is on the air. People are calling in being like, hey, my name is Oliver, and he's like, Oswald, Osmond, like just like being an ass to them, hanging up on them immediately when he's like, I don't like it. And
I know she's getting a pulsing in her girlhood for sure.
Oh, for sure. I would be sitting there like, oh my God, stop hanging up on people. What the hell? Why are you doing that? And so this one time they go to commercial break and he asks her like, what song should we play during the break, Lucy? And she requests this like Louis Armstrong song. I can't remember the name of it, but he then gets very, very weird. He starts tweaking. He tweaks a lot in this book. So he starts tweaking and she's like, the fuck? He has to like go take a lap and it's a whole thing. But then he comes back because he went out and the like head of the studio, Maggie, is like, hey, so you gotta stop being a dick to everyone on the phone. Like, what the fuck?
She's here to find love. For her to, yeah.
Like, you can't keep hanging up on people. So I'm gonna give her the studio cell phone and we're gonna put the number out there so people can text her and whatever. So
this is insane.
People, like, crazy. So he's like, okay.
The fact that she went on dates with any of these people.
I know. He's insane.
Like, the fact that she didn't get shot or stabbed on any of these dates.
Literally, in the Lord's year of 2025,
yeah. I
would never do this. Especially, at least not with one of my friends sitting in the same restaurant. Like, are you insane?
Yeah.
So he gives her the phone and he's, again, tweaking about it and being like, here's the fucking phone. She's like, okay. And
that's the thing is, when they tweak so hard, it's so embarrassing. It's like, you can't even, like, articulate your own emotions. Like, it's so embarrassing.
Right.
The least you could do is say, your boyfriend's ugly, you should be with me instead.
But she has no boyfriend, so he's like, what do I do? What's my move? So he gives her the phone and they get home later, and I think, like, maybe in the next chapter, she's like looking through all of the, the people who are texting in immediately, of course. And she sees that Aiden, who has his number programmed in the phone, obviously, because he works there, has texted her and he's like, hope there's nobody weird on here or whatever. And she's like,
but you know what was confusing to me is if they're really so viral and she's really getting so many messages in a day, how is she even seeing his message?
I don't know. Oh, because he's the only one who has his number saved, so his comes up as Aiden, everyone else is a random number. Regardless, her phone's going off the charts, so still it would probably get buried. But hey, she took the time and went through all those texts because she's looking for love.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't even.
There'd definitely be photos of...
I would turn that phone off.
There'd definitely be photos of schlongs and feet in there for sure.
Oh, she says that. She's like, people are sending in fucking weird ass pictures. Someone sent in like 15 pics of their lizard.
Yeah, and she...
Like, what the fuck?
At that point, I'd rather see your dick than see a goddamn lizard.
No, I'm powering off the phone. We're done. And so she, we get a chapter of her back at the shop, and she's looking at the phone, and the guys at the shop are also like, we should pick up people for you to date, because there's a lot of randos.
Because this isn't working clearly.
Yeah, she's like, let us go through the phone. And they're like, someone's at the front, you go deal with it. She goes out there, and there's a man out there, and he's like, hey, I'm looking for someone who can put like a fucking blue paint job on the bottom of my 1950 whatever
my red
Chevy
car.
car. And she's like, I'm not doing that for you, that's disgusting. But you can go somewhere else if you like, I'll give you the number. And he's like, you passed the test. I wanted to see if anybody was gonna be able to tell me no. Everywhere else I went and said, yeah, I'll do it. So I want to give you my baby to take care of for the next couple weeks and like help fix her up. This whole part, I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, what was
I don't know
it?
gaff about cars. Huh?
What was it? That was it?
What?
She just works on the car?
Yeah, I mean, he literally was like, I'm looking for someone to like whatever. And then when he says like, oh, I'm gonna give you the car, and she makes some kind of joke, he giggles. And then she goes, when he smiles, his whole face changes. He's actually really attractive.
Yeah, so
and
does she go on a date with that man?
Well, we'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. And obviously at this point, you're like, okay, at some point, he's gonna come back around. She tells Aiden when she gets back to the station the next time, I need to pick a date. Like, I need to pick a date at this point. And he's like, oh, fucking K. And she finds someone in the phone named Elliot who texted her being like, hey, this is kind of weird. Obviously, like, this is such a weird situation, but like, I don't know, I heard your voice on the radio and I thought you seemed really cool. Like, I would love to meet you. He seems very normal. And so she's like, I think I'm gonna pick this guy named Elliot. And
I will say,
okay.
sorry to keep interrupting, but I will say, like, anybody that's texting that phone is insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, none of these dates are gonna work out.
No,
obviously.
No way. I would not, I still would be like, even if you were seemingly normal, I'd be like,
what are you
very
doing?
apprehensive. Yeah, no. So regardless, the date comes up and he's at the station and he's there alone that night, and everyone is calling in being like, how's Lucy's date going? Oh my God, did you meet the guy? Like, how is it? How is it? How is it? And he's like tweaking. He's like, I don't know, I'm not there. Clearly I'm sitting here in the fucking booth talking to y'all. Stop asking me.
And frankly, stop calling. I don't want to talk to y'all either.
Right. And then one of Huey, the studio assistant, runs up and he's like, the fuck? So he goes to commercial break and Huey's like, there's a man in the lobby who is like literally threatening my life and says that he will not leave until he speaks to you. And he's like, oh, what the fuck? So he goes down to the lobby and this man like runs up to him and like grabs him by his collar type thing and is like, did you do this whole thing as a setup? Like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, who the fuck are you? And then he sees Lucy run in. And obviously then as a reader, we're like, oh, it's Grayson. And
Grayson would be getting smacked by me so hard. I'd be like, if you don't stay out of my hag love life, things are gonna be so bad for you.
It was cute that he like wanted to defend her. Clearly they have such a special like loving relationship. They're best friends. But also, please don't do this.
Also stay out of it.
Please don't do this. Even if you wanted to be in it, please don't, like, put my radio co-host in harm's way.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah. And he runs up in there and he's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, I'm Lucy's baby daddy. He literally says baby daddy. And then he looks at Lucy and he, like, sees that she's been crying. He can tell. He's like, oh, something went wrong. And he does the, who the fuck made you cry? Shut the fuck up. Oh my God, that pissed me off. That day I was like, I was pissed. I was so annoyed. Not the who the fuck made you cry, please.
Yeah, it's just so overdone at this point.
So overdone. I was like, oh God. And like you said, it's like he's like every book guy ever. You know? I was like, ugh. Okay. But basically she's like, yeah, Elliot was kind of a freak. So it didn't go well. It's okay. I called Grayson, he picked me up. And Grayson's like, you know what? I think I need to take control here and help pick out your next date because clearly you're picking the wrong men. And Maggie comes up out of nowhere and she's like, okay, period.
Everybody would be getting hit if it were me in this situation.
Right. You guys, I need to go home and take a bubble bath.
Yeah. Can you guys just get out of my love life? Also, like, I'm gonna be honest, finding love is never this serious. It's just not.
I'm not about to, listen, after this fucking awful date, I'm not about to go back upstairs and get right back on the radio.
Yeah. No.
I need to go drink a whole bottle of wine in my bathtub.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. Because you know what? That's called taking care of yourself and
Right.
not putting all of your happiness and your eggs into the romance basket.
Right.
Your eggs shouldn't always be in the romance basket. Sometimes you gotta put them in the drinking a whole bottle of wine basket.
Exactly. So they get up there and Grayson's like getting ready to go literally on the air with Aiden, and she's sitting on a beanbag chair, and then she's like, he comes over to her and he like kneels down in front of her and he's like, hey, like, how are you? He starts literally like rubbing circles on the back of her legs, and I'm like, you don't do that with a friend.
Yeah.
Like, clearly he likes you very much.
Yeah.
Which also I thought this was hot. He's like clearly like big, because she's like, he's like standing above me so protective.
I'm getting dizzy thinking about
No,
being
literally.
touched by a big man.
Getting dizzy. But quite literally. So she's like, I don't know. And she explains that Elliot basically tricked her into coming to this date, basically to humiliate her and be like, you stupid fucking bitch, that you would ever think that you could find love. Like, there's no magic. Like, this is so dumb. He's basically like a scary misogynist freak, which is heinous. Again, there's no normal people who are texting this phone number. But let's not blame the victim. So he's like freaking out. Obviously his jaw starts clicking, as they do whenever a man in a book gets upset. His jaw is clicking.
Can you make your jaw click?
I always try to like, I'm afraid of like biting down on like the back of their thing to make their shit do like a, I'm always trying to do it, but I'm like, I don't understand how you do that. I'm imagining them like mewing. Like,
Is that not what mewing is?
no.
Oh.
Mewing is like, okay. So
Like looks maxing? Yeah.
Yeah. So then basically Grayson picks out someone on the air for her to go on a date with. His name is William. And she has her date with William, and she's sitting in the restaurant waiting and waiting and waiting. 45 minutes goes by and she's like, did I get the wrong address? Like, what the fuck? She texts Aiden. She's like, am I at the right place? He's like, yeah, hunty, you're at the right place. And she's like, oh, okay, because I've been sitting here for 45 minutes. And he's like, alone? She's like, yeah. So she puts the phone down. She drains her glass of wine. She's like, I'm gonna head out. On the way out the door, the waiter's like, don't worry about your bill. I'll cover it. You inspire me so much. I know you from the radio.
I recognize your voice. Bruh.
Get the fuck.
Bruh.
Get the fuck. Get the fuck. I was like, okay. So she then is like, all right. And she starts walking down the street and she hears Aiden calling to her from like behind her, in front of her, or whatever. And she's like, the fuck? Were you around? Were you in town? And he's like, oh, yeah, for sure. He has like wet hair. He's wearing like 2 different shoes.
He's panting.
Like literally, he's panting like he just sprinted. And she's like, okay. And he was like, I didn't want you to be by yourself. Like, let's go to a bar. And she's like, period. They go to a bar and they get boots drunk. And they start to have like some more in-depth conversations about like her family, his family. He tells her about his mom. I didn't forgot to mention, but before she tells him about her relationship with Grayson and how she got pregnant and all that stuff. And they just start really, I don't know, getting into it. They're having their like, their chats where they're like, oh, their connection is building. And they, wait, where was I? Oh.
I will say, they get really drunk in the bar and she forces him to dance to Thong Song.
So this pissed me off because I was like, millennials, again.
So
millennials will always come back and be like, but what if I tried to be funny?
And goofy. They're
Thong
dancing
Song.
to Thong Song.
And it's the only song that plays on the jukebox inside of this bar. Bye. And she keeps being like, I want to have fun. Like, I don't want to, like, I feel like I don't have fun anymore. Like, I want to do some fun shit. They start playing skee ball, and suddenly she's boots drunk, and she's like, let me help you with your form. With your skee ball form. And he's like, he's getting dizzy. And then they get to the dance floor, and he's boots dizzy. And she's like, rubbing her nose all over his face, and they're like breathing in each other's mouths kind of thing. Like, they're doing their best not to kiss, and he's getting dizzy as fuck. And he's like, you know what? Let me take your ass home, because we're a little bit too drunk, and my God. He gives her a piggyback ride, and yeah.
Skinny people, shut the fuck up.
Like,
if a man tried to give me a piggyback ride, the way his knees would hit the floor so quickly. Like, I would climb up on his back and you would just hear a dunk.
The visual of that just killed me.
Except for his knees like folding inward.
God. No, yeah, I need, after my last man, like, I need a strong man.
You can't hear the dunk.
I do not want to see my man's knees buckle.
When he tries to pick you up ever again.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, the way my man like could barely pick me up, like it was humiliating. Anyway,
not for you.
Well, at the time I thought for me, but now I know not for me, for him. But he picks her up and he's like, get on, goddammit, because she's being apprehensive, and she's like, oh, you're so bossy.
She's thinking about your ex.
No,
his knees buckling when he tried to pick you up.
She's like, I don't know. And then he's like, just get on, the fuck. And she's like, you're really fucking bossy. And he goes, I certainly can be. And I said, oh, what's in the horizon for me? Because I'm getting excited now. So we wake up the next morning.
On the horizon?
We wake up the next morning and she like is boots drunk on the couch. And she's like, wait, why is Aiden here? He stayed the night. And
he slept on the floor, no less.
No, they were cuddling.
Oh.
She was on him.
Oh,
she was using him as her pillow.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And like.
Oh, I don't know why I thought. Okay.
Yeah, she like scurries across the room and she's like, oh my God. And they keep being like,
I don't know why anybody ever acts like cuddling is accidental. Don't piss me off.
No, because in her mind she's like, I remember pulling him onto the couch and saying, stay, you make a nice pillow.
Then don't act like that the next day, girl.
No, like wake up and be like, I would snuggle in further. In the light of day, you're stuck with me. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. You shouldn't have spent the night.
Well, also, like, that was clearly his decision to stay.
He wanted to stay.
Too. Yeah.
No, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Like, so anyway, he stays for breakfast, and he has like breakfast.
And Maya and Grayson are there,
and Mateo, and the whole gang is here, and she's like watching him interact with her daughter, and he's like clearly very good with the 12-year-old. So she's like, God. I mean, I'm sure as a mother that would be really lovely to see that. But they also have a conversation being like, I think we might have a crush on each other, but maybe it's just because we're spending so much time together. So we'll get over it. It'll be fine.
That's gotta be it.
Yeah, for sure. And he's like, yeah, but you know, he's being extremely flirty in the midst of this conversation. And she's like, please stop flirting with me. And he's like, I can't. You'd be putting your hair up in the studio and making me fucking dizzy. I need a man to say that about me. I need a man to say that about me. I will say, like, this is why I was saying, like, I can stand to not have a dual POV. Because in her POV, he was so, like, I will say, around here is when he started getting, like, really hot to me. And, like, whenever we bounce to his POV, I'm like, ugh, in his head, he's so pathetic.
Can you just stop being, yeah.
Like,
yeah, can you stop being so brooding?
I know, like, enough.
It's just annoying.
I only want to see him doing his, like,
spitting fire game.
Right, doing his suave shit, you know? And he's like being so flirty, it's crazy. Oh God. And then at the studio the next time, he finds out that she's getting like harassed on the phone. People are starting to text her and being like, bitch, I'm gonna shut you up if you don't shut the fuck up. Whoa. But it's like, right, we shouldn't have given her a phone. We shouldn't have given anyone direct access to her.
Yeah.
Ever. So he, like, again, is tweaking. And he's like, Maggie, this is done. We're not doing that again.
Well, he's also like, you didn't think about this happening.
Right.
Like, you didn't install blockers or anything to stop people like this from contacting her.
Yeah, and Maggie's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And he's like, what do you mean? And she's like, I'll take care of it. Does she run the mafia?
Yeah, are you
the Baltimore Mafia?
These people?
No, like, what's happening?
Mafia.
Like what?
Oh my God.
What the fuck? Maggie was literally acting like I'm the owner of this city. Like what was happening there? I never explained what.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is you can make your character say things like that if you know you're not going to explain it. You can make them say anything if you know you're not going to explain it.
So fair.
You know?
So fair. And so then he's like, all right, I will pick out someone for her to go out with, I guess, because, you know, we're not...
Apparently everybody else sucks at it.
Yeah, and also, like, you know, we're supposed to be picking her out someone to go out with.
You can't talk about being horny and not expect me to get horny.
I mean, that's valid. So, then a man named Oliver calls in, and he's like, I would love to go out with Lucy, da-da-da, and Aiden's like, okay, fine.
This is about where I finished reading. I just was getting too bored.
Yeah, so this is where it picked up for me, actually.
Okay.
And so anyway, he sets her up on this date, and he's like so fucking mad about it. Like, again, being so rude, calling him like obscenely wrong names on the air. But he sets up the date. He apparently like texted him and didn't even say like no text or nothing, just sends the address. That sent me. I was like, you're being so rude. You want to go out with her, just go out with her.
Yeah, that's what annoys me about friends to lovers, is that it's like you guys both like each other,
so just go out. Like,
yeah,
you're already pseudo going out anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But they go on the date, and she meets the guy, and he's actually like really, really handsome. They have a lot in common. They're actually having like, an amazing time. But then she is kind of like lost in thought, and he's like, "You like Aiden, don't you?" And she's like, "What?
Oh my god, no.
What?" And he's like, "You have mentioned him 6 times in the past like 30 minutes. Oh! He clocks her, and she's like, "What? What?" And he's like, yeah, you've been talking about him so much, and that's okay, girl, because frankly, I'm also in love with someone else. And she's like, "What?" And he's like,
I don't care if I'm in love with somebody else. I'm taking the spaghetti out of my plate and I'm putting it down your shirt, and then I'm hitting you in the face with the plate. Don't say that to me.
Well, I think he felt comfortable saying it because he was like, "You're also should not be on this date," which is fair.
Women can do anything they want. Men are getting a shirt full of spaghetti.
Yeah. Spaghetti.
That's what I'm ordering on a date, is spaghetti.
So she's like, "Huh." And
how weird.
He's like, he goes, like, recognizes, like, I don't know, like, I could see it. And like, honestly, he's like, "I'm having a really great time. This is like, you're really awesome." And she's like, "Honestly, me too. Like, this is great. But we're just not meant to be together. We're meant to be with the people that we want to be with." And they're like, "Yeah." And then he talks about the girl, brief side note, he talks about the girl that he's in love with. This person is his brother's ex. Y'all are never gonna be together. If I'm the brother, never under my watch.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the summer I turned pretty. It's so funny to me that, like, if her and Conrad end up together, what's that gonna be like for the rest of their lives?
The plot of that show
is so funny.
So ridiculous.
They're lucky that it's such a fire fucking show because the plot is so absurd. She's lucky that Lola Tung and Chris, whatever his name is.
Chris Briney.
Yeah, their chemistry is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Because it's carrying the entire show.
It's carrying it. When I tell you, I have never laughed harder than when I saw that new teaser trailer for the new season.
She's leaving her wedding to go be with his brother.
Literally the entire ad is her and Jeremiah on walks, on dates, having fun, doing whatever, and then the music goes and Conrad shows up. I was like, "You're done."
Well, he's so fucking fine.
No,
and Gavin's pretty cute too, but apparently he's like a Mormon or something.
The thing is, regardless, you do not need to be after the first hop to the other brother.
You don't need to go back.
You don't need to go back. If you decided to hop, you gotta stay there, or you gotta say enough with these 2 brothers. Yeah. I'm finding a whole new bloodline.
You can't go. You can't almost get married to one and then be like, "I guess I'll just go be with the other one."
No, girl.
I don't care that he cheated. I don't care that he deserved it.
No, girl.
I don't like Jeremiah. It doesn't mean you should go get with Conrad. I mean, to be fair, I would.
It is insane. But anyway,
like, if the one ex that I'm in love with, if he had a brother that I thought was hot, oh god, me in his DM's crazy. He doesn't though.
So after that, we kind of jump back after her date with Conrad. They jump back to Aiden, and he's standing
up with Conrad.
Yeah, from The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Oh.
Aiden's doing everything he can to avoid her. Like, they're supposed to record this night, or like film. What do you call it? Go on the air, and he's literally like standing outside in like 10-degree weather. Like, "I'm gonna stand out here until the last possible second so I can avoid being around her because I can't handle it."
In love with her?
Yeah, he's like, "I'm crushing on her so bad, I can't." And eventually Maggie comes up to him and she's like, "Get that ass inside. Also, we gotta figure out how to wrap this shit up because obviously eventually at some point, like,
she has to find love."
And she's gonna want to wrap it up. So we have to figure out how we're gonna do that. The exit strategy. He's like, "Exit strategy. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear any of that." And then they get in the booth and they start talking about, her love life again. And
I mean, that's what she's there to do, to be fair.
it's like after a certain point, how many times can we talk about the same thing?
Well, the thing is that it's like also like if every date's a failure, who's gonna keep tuning in?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, anyways, they're talking about it, and she's like, you know what? I actually did meet someone the other night at a bar, and he's like, oh, did you? And she's like, I did. We played skee ball. We danced together.
Wait, pause. Does he realize that she's talking about him? Okay,
she's being very cheeky, and he knows.
Okay.
But obviously, like, they're live on the air, they're not trying to say it's them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I should mention, earlier in the book, her daughter Maya is like, everyone on the internet knows that y'all are flirting. So is her friend Patty. Her friend Patty's like, everyone thinks y'all are fucking.
Her friend Patty's drinking wine out of mugs and listening to the show. Her friend Patty's kind of me.
Her friend Patty's me. And Patty's like, everyone thinks y'all are fucking. I mean, you're literally like constantly flirting on the air. What do you
Everyone
think?
thinks you're fucking. You might as well just start bouncing on it.
Right. So she starts being like, yeah, it was a really fun time. He gave me a piggyback ride. It was amazing. And he's like, oh yeah, you think you're gonna call him again? She's like, I think I might. Y'all. And then they get the broadcast ends. They make out heavily
In the studio?
in the booth. Heavily in the booth.
Was everybody else there?
No.
Maggie's just behind the camera, just like...
Huey's on the other side, like, guys, I want to clean up and go home.
I have to take the trash out in there.
Guys,
I can't leave it.
the trash out.
I can't leave until you guys leave. Those are the rules.
Oh my god, please. So they're like,
Poor Huey.
they're making out. He
You know what? Sorry to interrupt, but to have a good makeout session would cure me.
So it would literally fix all my woes.
I've been having back problems lately. I think it would fix my back problems.
Yeah, me too. The thing is, this has really got a little bit sinister for me because the fact he is kind of like whatever for like all the other parts of the book, but when it comes to this to the intimate scenes,
He's losing his mind.
I was losing my mind.
Oh.
He was so he just had the energy about him. He was so demanding and he was taking charge. It was good.
Men never want to take charge.
It was good. I implore you. Anyway, let me just
Maybe I'll
keep
read
going.
it.
Even if you just read okay, we'll get to the next part. But Lord, I was like, oh God. I was on the edge of my seat, so are you gonna fuck or not? Didn't.
But that's how you write a good sex scene, is leaving your readers on a little bit of edge. There's something about a good makeout.
This is about 60% of the way through the book, and I read this yesterday and I finished it yesterday. I was tuned in.
Apparently I just needed to get 3 more chapters deep before it got good. I just was so bored. So I was just like, why am I reading it if the whole point of them is to end up together and they're basically already together right now?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know that I can handle a good smut scene right now. I don't know if I'm mentally equipped to read that.
I wasn't, but I'll get there. So they then walk out to the car and she's like, okay, so I guess I'm gonna go home. And he's like, okay. So how do you want to talk about your dates the next time on the air? She's like, my dates? What the fuck do you mean? And he's like, yeah, next time we're on the air, what should we do? And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Did we not just make out? And he's like, I don't really know what to say right now. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna take that ass home. So she goes home and she's like, what the fuck? And she gets back and Mateo's waiting for her outside and he's like, hey, so your daughter was staying up really trying to keep herself awake to see you. I think she misses you a little bit. And she's like, oh God, I feel really guilty.
Are you kidding me?
Wait. But then she Mateo's like, yeah, but I don't think she's missing you. I don't think she needs you, is what I'm saying. She wants to spend more time with you, but she doesn't need you. You're doing something for yourself and you should keep doing something for yourself. And you're a great mother. You're not doing anything wrong. I'm just telling you, maybe carve in some time. And she's like, points taken. And then she goes up to her daughter's room to check on her. And she talks to her daughter and her daughter's in and out of sleep. But she's like, oh my God, were you at the station? Were you with Aiden? I know you guys were flirting. Everyone online thinks y'all are flirting. Her daughter loves it.
Yeah, why is her daughter so invested in her daughter's love life?
It. And she's like, oh my God. So then she takes her ass to bed and she texts Aiden and she's like, did you just kiss me for the ratings? Why did you kiss me? Because she's really confused. And he's like,
the kiss that nobody was gonna see?
He calls her immediately. She texts, he calls. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, why did you kiss me? And he's like, because I wanted to. And she was like, but like, was it for ratings? And he was like, you think I'm gonna whore you out for ratings? Nobody's even gonna know about the kiss.
Yeah.
We're not like live streaming.
Yeah.
We're on a radio show and we're off the air.
Guys, send the galaxy.
He's basically like, no girl, how would that even work? Nobody's gonna know that we kissed. What the fuck?
Hey, but I appreciate the reassurance.
Yeah. And he's like, no, I kissed you because I wanted to kiss you. So I did. And she's like, and he's like, then he's
there
like,
would
yeah.
have been what did you say? A fanny flutter.
A fanny flutter for sure. And he's like, listen, that's what I should have said when we were outside your car. I didn't know what to say then, but I know what to say now. And then he's like, I have a crush on you that's not going anywhere, and I'm...
Does he really say I have a crush? Or is that what you're saying?
No, he says the word crush.
Oh.
And he's like, I just... He goes into a whole thing.
I need you bad.
Yeah, of I need you bad. And she's like, okay. And then he's like, now that we got that out of the way, what are you wearing? I was like, whoa. Yeah. And
what do y'all say when somebody asks you what you're wearing? I've never been asked that question.
asked me that before.
I've never been asked that question either. But I assume, you know what it reminds me of? That one Sarah Baskavine where she's like, just like a bra and like panties, and then the camera pans down and it's her in a One Direction shirt.
Literally, it's like I'm wearing my One Direction Twilight shirt.
I mean, just like a G-string.
Yeah.
It's just like more comfortable than normal panties.
Comfortable. Yeah.
So I wear it around my house.
Yeah. I usually wear it when I'm doing my dishes and stuff. And he's like, the fact that you're even asking me if I would kiss you for views is crazy. I must not have kissed you well enough. Mind you, I'm sitting upstairs at my pool, like literally like, rolling like a tumbleweed. Everyone on the roof is like,
like a roly-poly.
Literally, I'm sitting here like, oh my god. I was like, you guys don't all know what's happening right now to me. Like, you don't know that Aiden just said something really fucking crazy. I hate calling him Aiden.
Yeah, I don't like that name. I have a cousin named Aiden. I didn't think about that.
So yeah, that makes it worse. But then the next time they're at the studio, again, Maggie asks him like, hey.
Does she tell him what she's wearing?
Yeah.
Like, do they like have a sexy moment?
They have a sexy moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And she's like, she tells him.
She's wearing her One Direction t-shirt, but she's
like, I'm wearing an oversized tee and I'm wearing like shorts with a hole in it. And he's like,
I bet you still look fine.
No. He's like, ooh. Anyway. And then, so they go to the studio. Maggie's like, hey, so about the exit plan, have you talked to her yet? What's the situation? He's like, yeah. We're working on it. And then she shows up early, like hella early, and she's like, hey, like, what's up? And he's like, I actually need to talk to you about something. Let's go in the closet. Pulls her into like a utility closet.
No. It's on. Was it
It's
on?
on. Yo!
It was one.
I tumbled in and out of the pool.
Book in hand and all.
Yo, there's a tear coming to my eye. I was so shocked.
Yeah, her sex scene in Love Light Farms was also had me clutching my nipples.
No.
I was at work clutching my.
You're done. This is crazy.
Hold on to your nips.
I was holding. Whoa. She
rolling in the pool, holding onto one nipple, book in hand. Rolling into the pool.
When I tell you, BK knows how to write a sexy scene. Holy shit. Aiden was...
Had you holding on to your nips, so to speak?
Yeah, badly. Like, I was like, oh, this is like my perfect kind of sexual partner.
Wait,
actually.
they have sex in the closet at work?
No,
That's
no.
their first sex scene?
No.
Okay.
They just
It's
make
a
out
sexy
heavily.
scene. Okay.
It's a sexy scene. And he
Wow, and then had you rolling into the pool clutching your nipples just in the makeout? Maybe I need to walk in.
No. Like, I was clutching my pearls. He's just so, like, his energy when they're in the midst of their, like, intimate scenes is, like, whoa.
I think what you really need is a confident man. I feel like that's something your ex really lacked was confidence.
Yes.
Rightfully so. He was awful. But
And you know what it is, too? that I really liked about Aiden in these scenes is that he's a talker. He like is really talking to her well.
Men will not talk.
And my ex would not talk for the life of him, and I asked so many times.
To be fair, I feel like that's a lot of women have that issue.
Yeah, and you have to be confident for that. And oh my God, Aiden was working it. He was working it down. So she comes, okay, and then
from the makeout.
No. There's a situation.
There's a sexy scene. Okay.
Yeah, there's a situation, but then like
that'd be crazy if she came from that.
God, I know. And, but then she walks out and she looks disheveled as fuck, and he's like, okay, I need to wait a sec, cause like, and she's like, she wants to fuck him in the closet, and he's like, no, because if I feel how wet you are, I'm gonna fuck you in the closet, and I'm not gonna fuck you in the closet for the first time we fuck.
I would say just fuck me in the closet.
No, just fuck. So
counterpoint.
So I raise you up.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Then the next scene we get is Lucy back at work. She's at the garage, and Chevy guy shows up again, and he's like trying to flirt with her, and she's like, girl, bye.
I just had my in the closet.
Right. She's like, girl, bye. And then they get a call at the garage being like, hey, someone needs a tow. And all of them are like, not it. And so she's like, fuck, I'll go, I guess. And so she goes out with the tow truck. Lo and behold, the person who needs a tow is Aiden, standing on the side of the street holding a pizza like a loser. He's and she comes.
Does he actually need a tow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he in his POV, he's like, I didn't even conceive of the idea that she would show up. Like, oh my God. He's humiliated.
And he went to go get a pizza?
Oh, no. He's humiliated because then they get in the car and he's like watching her being like, oh my God, it's so hot that she knows how to do all this shit, which is like fair enough. Like, that's hot. They get into the car. She hooks up his car. They're driving back to the garage and she's like, I'll give you a ride home if you want. And he's like, yeah, okay. And they're sitting in the car and he's being really weird. And she's like, what the fuck? Like, is he like regretting
yeah.
what happened? Like, what the fuck? But then she's gonna get out of the truck and he stops her and he's like, listen, I promise I'm not trying to be weird. I'm just like really
embarrassed by the concept of being left on the side of the road with
pizza
in hand.
He's like, I'm just really like trying not to freak out at the idea that I'm holding this pizza that is a pineapple pizza just because you told me you like pineapple pizza and I want to like the things that you like, so I bought this to see if I would like it. And she's like,
I actually don't find that cute. I will say, I don't like when people like things just for the sake of me liking them. Like, I hate when a guy likes me and suddenly he loves Taylor Swift. I'm like, shut up. Let me have my own thing. You don't have to like my thing. Yeah. We can find something that we like together, but you don't have to like my thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I'm alone in that boat, I will be honest. One of my boyfriends in high school, he watched an entire season of Survivor. It was the season with fucking Tony. And I fucking hate fucking Tony.
Please let Kagaya on.
And I don't want... Yes, and he was in my phone crazy talking about, have you seen this? I love Tony this. And I was like, it's really sweet that you watched that for me. And we weren't even dating at the time. Oh. Like, this was him. Yeah, it was really sweet. And I was like...
Not Survivor 28, Kagaya.
That's probably the... What's crazy is that's probably the only season I've never seen in full because I fucking hate Tony so fucking much.
But that's cute that he did that. That's what I was saying. I was like, it was cute that he was like, I want to go get the pizza, because he was supposed to like spend the night home alone, and he was like, I literally was meant to get the pizza, go home, and spend the night trying not to text you. But now I've been caught. Yeah. And she was like, LOL, what are you doing later? And he's like, well, I was gonna be doing this. And she's like, okay, so should we hang out? My daughter is at a sleepover, and he's like, okay, so you can come over if you want. And she's like, period. I enjoyed heavily that they didn't have the sex scenes at her house.
With the girl,
were at his house. Mm-hmm. Even though the daughter wasn't at the house, they didn't go back to her. I don't know. Something about that, I was like, I like that. That it's like, you know.
No chance of walking in. Yeah. We don't need to bring the kid up at all.
At all. Literally.
Yeah.
So they go back to his apartment, or back to his house, and he's like, give me 1 sec. And he runs inside. Comes back to get her. She comes inside. She's like, what was that? What's going on? And he, earlier in the book, she had mentioned that like her like ideal date would be doing a picnic, even if it's like not outside or whatever. She wants to do like a picnic, even if it was in like the living room, you know, that would be cute. Because she's like, I want to know that like someone would take the effort to do that for me. So he ran inside and made a little picnic for her.
Don't piss me off.
He ran inside and set up a whole like pillow fort in his living room. And she's like, you set this up for me? And he's like, yeah, and I'm humiliated that it looks like shit, but yes, I did. So then they sit down, they start eating the pizza. He's looking for something to watch on TV, and she's like, I think you should kiss me.
Yeah, no, if I were, he would be, his back would have hit the floor so fast.
Like, you know when like, you see like clips of people who play football and they're doing that one drill where they have to hit that thing really hard, they like run right into it? That's you. Thus ensues the sex scene that rewired my brain chemistry.
That was to close the book and just go. You had to dunk your head in the pool.
Let me tell you something. Yes, it was about 6 p.m. I'm on the roof. I was listening to like the same song on loop, and
what song was it?
On and On by Flo.
Okay.
You heard that? Mm-hmm. And I was like actually gonna. I was gonna have a conniption. Like it was really good, and it was a long scene.
Period.
I love a long scene.
I know that is my one qualm with, and I know Hannah Grace is trying to move away from the smut, which is fine if that's what you want to do. But those smut scenes in Daydream could have been a little longer.
They could have been.
I needed
really
it.
don't know. I really needed it. Like those scenes could have been longer. This scene was so good.
I'd rather have like 1 or 2 long smut scenes than like 5 or 6 medium-sized ones.
Oh, because this is the only sex scene that they have in the book. And it was good. Like I was not like, oh, I wish they were, you know, like I was duly satisfied with it. It was, if anything, I implore you just to go read this chapter.
I will.
Oh my god, it had me for, like, I was literally not well. I was like chewing at the bars of my enclosure. Like, seriously.
That couple that was on the roof of your building yesterday watches you bite the edge of the pool.
No, really. And the thing is, like, too, it wasn't like over the top to the point where like I was like, ugh, you know, like it was the perfect amount. Like my tummy was doing flip after flip after flip. And that's how you know the scene
Let's
is
see if
good.
you text me back, you guys.
And also, like, maybe that's just because I'm, like, extremely, like, lonely right now. But regardless, it was good for me. So, I give that one a 10 out of 10.
You can write a bad sex scene, and we've read them.
Yeah, we've read them. We've read them. So, after that, she goes home the next morning, and she's like, And Grayson comes over, and he's like, you've been dick down. And she's like, and he's like, nah, for sure, because you're wearing his sweatshirt, you look disheveled as fuck, and what's going on here? And then he calls Patty, he's like, come over, girl. Patty shows up and she's like, you've been dick down.
Get out of my business. Can you imagine being so lonely and so, like, actually, no, that's not true. I feel like when either one of us gets a boyfriend, we're gonna be sharing some stories. I guess that's true.
Oh, I mean, personally, me, I'd be sharing. I know you're not like the most share person.
If I had something to share, maybe I would.
But I'm a sharer. But yeah, they're both like, they clock her tea. And even the daughter comes downstairs and she's like, oh, were you hanging out with Aiden? And she's like, how do you know that? And she's like, because you're wearing his fucking sweater. And she's like, ah! Girl. But the daughter is happy about it. The daughter loves this for her. But when the daughter's not in the room, they're like, girl, come sit over at the counter and tell us about it. And she's like, I can't really sit down right now.
Oh my god. Did he put it in her butt?
No, what?
Oh. I thought that's what that meant.
No, it just means like you're fucking sore.
Oh.
So, and also like at the beginning of this chapter, she mentions that they like fucked again in the morning and like very briefly describes it, not in any kind of intense detail, but even that brief description of that, I was like, they do a particular thing that, you know what, I'm not gonna say that on the air.
What was it? I'll cut it out.
But yeah, okay. It was very, very, very good. Then the next time they're at the station, they're flirting very heavily. He's doing his thing. And then she's like, so what should we, I think I don't want to like talk about this between us just yet. And he's like, oh. And she's like, yeah, I don't know like if we should talk about it right now. I think you should just kind of stay. I like this being between us. And he kind of, his demeanor like quickly changes and he kind of looks like disappointed. She's like, the fuck? And then she comes another time to the studio and hears like Aiden and Maggie talking about, oh, like, how are we gonna wrap up this whole segment with Lucy? Like, obviously, you've been wanting to, like, I thought you missed being alone. Like, what do you mean? And she's, like, listening to this, and basically it sounds as if he doesn't want her there. Oh, no. So I thought it was going to be a miscommunication trope. It's not.
Oh.
Shocked me. I was like, yes! Yes! I was so happy because she was, like, she's listening, and she's like, wait, what? And then she's like, you know what? I'm not going to just take a small part of a conversation I wasn't even meant to hear and run with it. And then she walks in the room and goes, you can just ask me. I was like, oh, period, queen. I'm so happy not to have a miscommunication. Oh my God. I was like, thank you, Jesus. I hate miscommunication trope.
I do too.
No, I was like, good for you, girl. Cause she was like, you know what? Let me not just jump to a fucking conclusion. And then she talks to him and he's like, no. That was out of context, obviously. Like, I do want you to be here. I always want you to be here. And now I'm upset at the idea of you not being here. Because she keeps asking me how you're going to leave, and I don't want to give her an answer. And then they go to the booth, and they start recording the show, and they get a caller in. The caller is the Chevy guy. Because earlier when he came, the last time he came to the shop, he was like, I kind of recognize your voice. And she was like, I don't know. And so then he calls in, and he's like, I knew it was you, Lucy, goddamn. And she's like,
you know what's crazy? Oh. So many people have the same voice because sometimes when I'm listening to our podcast, I don't know who's talking.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
How are all these people recognizing her voice? Bullshit.
Yeah, no.
Unless she sounds like Tana Mojo, in which case...
she sounds like James Charles.
Oh, so she sounds like my ex.
Oh my God. So he calls in and he's like, oh my God, I knew it was you. Like, I knew I recognized you from somewhere. And Aiden's like, who the fuck is this? And she's like, oh, like, this guy brought in his car for me to fix. I'm working on it at the shop. And he's like, yeah. Aiden's like, why are you calling? He's like, I'm calling because I wanted to see if Lucy wanted to go out. And they're both like, oh, haha.
If Lucy says yes, I'm gonna get mad.
So then she's like, oh, and he's like, did you get my flowers? And she's like, flowers? Evidently he sent flowers to the shop. There was no card with it, and they just gave it to one of the other guys. And she's like, oh, there wasn't a card. Like, I didn't even know they were from you. Sorry, but thanks for sending those. And he's like, so I would love to go out sometime. And she's like, oh, I don't. And before she can even say anything, Aiden's like, yeah, she'd love to go out with you.
Oh, I'm hitting him.
Oh! And she's like, what the fuck? And
you want to find out if microphones hurt? Because I'm about to hit you in the face with the microphone.
Oh, I'm about to club you over the head with the microphone. And he's like, yeah, give me what's your phone number? I'll put you guys in contact. Give me your info. And she's like, fuck. She's like, let's.
So he's gonna say his phone number over the air?
He was just being like, I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but he was like, give me your info. I'm gonna set y'all up. Like, tell me she would love to go out with you. And she's like, what the hell? So she's like, we're going to commercial break. They go to commercial break, and she's like, what the fuck was that? And he's like, what the damn hell? No, like, what the helly? And he's like, I just thought that, you know.
Since you didn't want to talk about it. Is that what he says?
Basically. But at first he's like, I just feel like you obviously want to be with someone more like him. And she's like, why would you even think that? What the fuck? I want to be with you. I didn't even say yes. You said yes to that. And he was like, yeah, but he sent you flowers and doing all the things that you want. You know, he's giving you the magic, and I can't give you that. I can give you fun. I can't give you the magic. And she's like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, well, you said earlier that you didn't want people to know about us. And she's like, I didn't want to talk about it on the air. I obviously want to be with you. Like, she's like, I just meant we didn't need to talk about it, like, on the radio show. And
he was like, jinx it, girl.
Right, and he was like, but also, like, I can't give you what you want. And she reads him for Phil.
Period.
She's like, bitch, the fact that you are even saying this right now, you clearly like me, I clearly like you. You're only saying this because you are emotionally stunted and you're scared, and you like neglected going on a trip with your parents because you're afraid of facing all the stuff that happened with them. You're afraid of watching full-length movies because you're afraid of falling in love with the characters and maybe something bad happening to them. You're afraid. No, like, she is going in on him and like reading the fuck out of him, and she's like, my feelings are not going to change. I really like you. And when you're ready to have a conversation with me about this, you can call me. I'll be listening on the air. And she, like, walks the fuck out. I was like, Period, Lucy. She ate him down. She chewed him so bad. It was humiliating. Oh, she really read him for filth. Because she was like, you're literally just trying to find a problem. Because you're too afraid to, like, be happy. What the fuck? So then he calls his dad and he's like, wait, what the fuck? Is there something wrong with me? And his dad's like, yeah. Like, what's your issue?
What's your fucking problem?
No, he's like, girl, get it together. And then we get a chapter where he's like, okay, so clearly I gotta get my shit in order. And he one day like pulls up to Jackson's house and he's like, hey, I'm here to apologize for being such a dick to you all the time. Also, I need a favor. I was like, because he shows up to go on a run with Jackson and Jackson's like, why are you here? Your dad's just here to apologize. And he's like, no, I really came here to apologize and like, I should be a better friend to you and I'm sorry.
But also, can you
But
do me
also,
a favor?
I need help.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, bro. So obviously the favor is like doing something grand gesture to get Lucy back. And when we get back to Lucy's POV, everyone at the shop is like trying to get her to go back to the radio station. And she's like, what the fuck? And eventually they're like, Aiden's car is still at the shop. So they're like, get in the car, take it back to the station. She's like, I don't want to do that. I haven't talked to him in a week. He hasn't called me in a week.
Up.
Like, I don't know.
Broke up, basically.
Yeah, we basically broke up. Like, I don't want to see him.
Yeah,
and,
especially right after sleeping with her.
Right. So she's like, I can't. And they're like, no, you have to. Nobody else can do it. And she's like, so then she's like, what the fuck? So she's like, fine. I'll just go there, put the keys at the front desk and leave. So she goes, she takes the car over. She accidentally opens the glove compartment and finds a list in there of like all this random stuff. And she's like, this is a list of all my favorite things. She like puts it back and she's like, she's so pissed. And she's like, okay, what the fuck? Maggie comes running out and she's like, thank God you're here. We need you in the studio. She's like,
literally, not even God himself could send me back to that studio.
No,
the way
like,
I would say, that sucks for y'all, goodbye.
no, literally, I also am still clocked in. I have to go. Like, no way. And she's like, what? And she's like, yeah, Aiden's not even here. He had an emergency at his house. So right now we got Jackson on the air giving the weather and he's talking about bullshit.
Jackson's a fuck-ass idiot. Poor Jackson gets hit with strays constantly.
Clown constantly. And she's like, please, we need you. And she's like, okay.
I'd be like, I don't even work. Y'all don't
Aiden's
even
not
pay
even
me.
here. Right.
I'm leaving.
Right. She's like, Aiden's not even here, so I guess I can do that for you. So she goes up and she sits in the booth with him and Jackson's like, thank God, we need your help so bad. And then they get back on the air and they're like, okay, Lucy's here for heartstrings, first caller. Someone calls in and says like 2 words and Jackson's like, oops, hung up on them. She's like, what the fuck? And she's like, I feel like something's going on.
There's something.
I can't quite put my finger on it, but something's happening.
Something's afoot.
Something is afoot. And I'm like, girl, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
Obviously the next caller is Aiden. And he calls in and he's like, hey, first time caller, long time listener. There's the title. And he's like, yeah, I kind of need some advice. What does it feel like to fall in love? And they start talking about whatever. They have their whole moment. And then she realizes that he's in the parking lot, so she ends the show. She's like, goodbye. She's goodbye.
Suddenly they don't care about the dead air.
No, they don't. She's like, or at least she leaves and Jackson's still in the thing. And she runs outside and he's there, obviously. And also Maya was there, and both Mateo and Grayson. Because when Aiden called in first, it was Maya. And Maya was like, hey mom, I just want to tell you that I love you. And I have a friend here who really needs some advice. And then she handed Aiden the phone.
That's what I'm saying, is that like I feel like rarely does a kid actually add to the story.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is that like it must be nice if you are a single mom to read, some representation for you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like kids never add anything to the story.
I will say I appreciated that this kid wasn't like that
the center of the story.
Yeah, in the story. She wasn't really involved in her relationship with Aiden. She wasn't like, she was in the periphery, you know what I mean? But so Maya and Mateo and Grayson are like in the car in the parking lot, like sitting for a little bit of ways, and she runs up to him, to Aiden, and they have their whole like, I'm so sorry, I love you, they exchange I love yous, they start kissing. They start kissing so OD, they describe the kiss as wet.
Ew.
I'm like, in front of your daughter? In front of your daughter? In front of your daughter? In front of your daughter?
See, that's the thing.
Whoa.
Like,
That's when I was like,
a kid, then this wouldn't be an issue.
That's when I was like, okay, wait.
Pause.
Whoa. And that's where the story concludes. We then obviously get an epilogue, because when did we not? And Aiden has spent the night at her house, and...
Wait a minute, the epilogue is that night?
No, it's in the future.
Oh, okay.
But it starts with, like, it's a morning, a Sunday morning.
Okay.
He spent the night, and they're all going to, like, Patty's coffee shop to get another cruffin. And he's, like, has, what's her name, Maya, and a piggyback, and, like, they're all walking together, whatever. They get in there, they get in a booth, and he's just, like, thinking about, like, how much happier he is now to be, like, you know, a part of this amazing family and, like, have this amazing relationship, and he's, like, so OD, like, obsessed with her. And then they realize that at the beginning of the book, when he had gone on his coffee thing with Jackson, a name was called out of, like, some kind of famous baseball player, and the name gets called out again in this epilogue, and he's like, what the fuck? And Lucy gets up to get their order, and he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, I always give that name because there's no reason. And he's like, that means at the time that I was here before, you were here too. That pissed me off. I did not need to, that was so unnecessary.
Wow.
That was so, she's like, we crossed paths and we didn't even know it. I mean, there's a part earlier in the book where she's like, I like the idea that, like, you know, I could have met my soulmate and not even known it. Like, we were in the same place at the same time and not known. So I guess that's what they was trying to do. Like, trying to make that be like, oh, they had crossed paths. But what the fuck?
Well, also, you kind of have to go a little bit out of your way to make it so that happens, because, I always give some random baseball player's name.
Every time.
Because I think it's funny.
No, she's like, I have to pay my respects. She doesn't give a fuck about baseball.
Yeah, it's just that you didn't want us to clock it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye. But that's how the book ends, basically. They're living happily ever after. The book ends with them sharing another wet kiss inside of the booth.
With the kid there?
The kids, like, ran away. She's not in the booth with them.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's how it ends.
Mm. Yeah, I think I stopped reading about halfway through, mostly because, like, I didn't feel like, I don't know, there was just something, like, I feel like it wasn't really romantic at all, and, like, there was no, like, B plot besides the romance.
Yeah.
The whole plot was just romance, and I felt like if I wasn't really into them and I wasn't feeling the romance that much, then it was like, well, then why am I even reading this? And I tried so hard to get into it because, like I said, I have read another one of this author's books, and I liked it. And I don't have really anything negative to say about it because I think it's just not my cup of tea. Like, I don't think she wrote anything, like, weird about the kid, because normally we know I have choice words to say about that. And I don't think she wrote anything, like, harmful. So I think it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah. I mean, I actually agree, because it was hard for me to get into it for sure. And about, like, halfway, I think you had texted me and been like, I'm having trouble. And I was like, I'm having trouble too. The way that I help myself get through having trouble is, like, listening to it, because it's like I have no choice but to listen if I press play. And then what happened was that, you know, it got into, like, the smutty, you know, intimate scenes, and then I got locked in.
Yeah.
But the reason why I got locked in was because those scenes were really, really good. If this book was without any, like, sexual scenes at all, it would have been like, you know? But because, and again, it was, like, 2 scenes.
I'll go back and read them.
You must. I was floored. So, for that alone, I'm gonna give this a solid 3. Just because I agree with all the things you said. It was kind of, and there was a B plot, all those things. But yeah, those two scenes were really, really, really good. Yeah. So that's where we are with that.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. I don't know what we're gonna be reading. We're gonna find out.
It might be a little surprise for everyone.
We're gonna find out.
Bye!